All right, let's dive in. We're going to peel back the curtain on the devices you use every single day, to really understand what makes them tick. We're talking about this incredible partnership that powers everything from your phone to massive supercomputers. So let's get into it. I mean, think about it. How does a computer really work? You click a mouse, you tap a screen, and, well, magic just happens, right? But what is that magic? Is it the plastic and metal box, or is it the invisible code running inside? You might think you have the answer, but the real story is so much cooler. Because here's the secret, it's not just one thing. It's not the machine, and it's not the programs. The real power, the real magic, comes from this amazing partnership. It's like two halves of a whole that absolutely cannot exist without each other. And, the best way to wrap your head around this is with a pretty simple analogy. Just think of a computer as a being. Yeah, a being with a physical body, and then an invisible mind that tells that body what to do. So first up, you've got the hardware. This is the body. It's all the stuff you can actually see and touch. The monitor, the keyboard, the little chips and wires inside. It's the solid, physical part of the deal. It has all this muscle, all this potential, but by itself, it doesn't have a clue what to do with it. And that's where the software comes in. This is the mind. It's that invisible set of instructions, the code, that gives the hardware a purpose. It's the intelligence that tells the body how to move, what to think about, and what to show you. It's literally the ghost in the machine. Okay, so let's get to know this physical form a little better. What are the really important parts of this body that the software mind brings to life? Now, you're familiar with most of these. The monitor is kind of like the face, and the keyboard and mouse are the hands. But inside, you've got the vital organs. The processor, or CPU, that's the raw brain power. You've got the memory, which is its short-term recall, and then you have storage, which is like its long-term memory. So what's cool is how each part has a very specific job. The CPU is the engine, just crunching numbers and running the show. Memory is like your desk. It only holds what you're working on right now. Storage, on the other hand, is the file cabinet, where you keep everything for later. And input/output, well, that's just the senses and the voice, letting information come in and sending results back out. All right, so we've met the body. But a body without a mind is, well, it's just an empty shell, right? So let's turn to the other half of this incredible team, the guiding intelligence, the software. And this is absolutely the most important thing to get. You could have the most powerful piece of hardware in the world, but without software telling it what to do, it's basically just a very, very expensive paperweight. It has no will, no purpose. It's just sitting there waiting for instructions. And this mind isn't just one single thing. It really has two different layers. First, there's the operating system. Think of this as the basic consciousness. It's what wakes the body up in the morning, manages all its parts, and just lets it function. Then, on top of that, you have application software. These are more like the specific skills the mind learns, like how to write or browse the internet or play a game. So we have the body and we have the mind. We have the physical stuff and the instructions. The real magic happens when they come together, when that symbiotic spark hits and they start working as one. This quote just says it all, doesn't it? Without hardware, software cannot run. Without software, hardware cannot function. They completely depend on each other. One is a ghost without a machine to haunt, and the other is a body without a mind to guide it. And you can see how fast this conversation happens with a super simple example, like typing the letter A. First, you press the key. That's a physical hardware action. Instantly, the operating system, that software, sees that signal and tells the processor, hardware, what to do with it. Then your word processing app, more software, forms the shape of the letter A and tells the monitor, hardware, to display it. This entire back and forth happens millions, even billions of times a second. It's just incredible. So this body and mind analogy is pretty neat, but why does it actually matter today? Well, because understanding this partnership isn't just some fun fact. It is the absolute key to building the technology of the future. For anyone working in technology, this is not trivia. It's foundational. You just can't design or build or even fix modern technology without a really deep understanding of how these two halves are constantly talking to each other. And this is true across the board. It doesn't matter if you're programming, working in IT, digging through huge piles of data as a data scientist, or, building the next big thing in artificial intelligence. This principle is always step one. I mean, just look at AI. It's the perfect example. The software side of AI is always pushing the limits, demanding more and more powerful hardware to run on. And then, when we invent new specialized AI hardware, the body,
It opens up brand new possibilities for the software mind. It's this constant cycle where each side pushes the other to get better and faster. So, if you take one thing away, let it be this. A computer isn't really a thing, it's a system. It's a perfectly coordinated team where the physical body and the digital mind are so tightly connected, they basically become one single unit. And when that connection is working perfectly, the possibilities are, well, they're endless. And that leaves us with a really fascinating final thought. As our hardware gets smarter and our software gets more and more complex, that line between the body and the mind, it starts to get a little blurry, doesn't it? It really makes you wonder, as this all continues to evolve, will we even be able to tell where the body ends and the mind begins?